Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome. My name is Madhav Arora. I welcome you all in the next session of a very important series. We call it as Finance Now. So this is a session for your finance current affair preparation where we try to discuss all the important finance current affairs related to different regulatory bodies, where we cover the circulars, the notifications of RBI, SEBI on regular basis, as well as the important circulars and notifications of the other regulatory bodies like IRDAI, PFRDA, IFSCA are also completed, are also covered. So this is a one-stop solution for RBI circulars if you are preparing for any of the regulatory body exam or you are preparing for any of the bank examination. If I'm audible and everything is fine and you want me to start with the discussion, just give me yes sir in the comment section so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. If you haven't shared the link of this session, again I would request you quickly copy the link of this session, share it with your friends so that more and more students, they can join us live and they should be aware the class is live and they can join us in the same. Once it is done, we are ready, we are good to go. Just give me a thumbs up so that we can begin. I hope you guys are enjoying the discussion. I hope if you are joining this session on regular basis, आपको लग रहा होगा काफी सारी नई चीजें आपको सीखने को मिल रही हैं. और the best part of this session is I always cover every news thoroughly. मतलब अगर मान लो कोई भी एक न्यूज है तो उस न्यूज से रिलेटेड जितने भी कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं which can be asked directly or indirectly in the examination, that is also covered in the same session thoroughly. ठीक है जी. I hope all done, everything is fine, everything is good, we are good to go. I hope we are good to start with the discussion. तो आज का जो हमारा पहली न्यूज है that is related to RBI. So RBI has announced on tap licensing system for none other than urban cooperative banks. अब ये एक ड्राफ्ट है. ड्राफ्ट means it's a proposal which is given. It is a proposal which is presented by RBI on its website, and now RBI is inviting the comments from the stakeholders, and once the comments are received, then RBI will take the final decision what to do, what not to do. Generally मैं drafts को cover नहीं करता. I always feel that these drafts, they are not really very important, but ये एक ऐसा draft है which is of great importance, क्योंकि अगर जब तक ये फाइनल नहीं होता, अगर कोई भी क्वेश्चन आरबीआई ने बनाना हुआ या फॉर दैट मैटर किसी भी एग्जामिनेशन में बनाना हुआ तो यहां से क्वेश्चन जरूर आएगा. इट्स गोइंग टू बी रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है जी. सो एज आई ऑलवेज डू, लेट्स ब्रेक डाउन द न्यूज. सो द फर्स्ट न्यूज सेज ड्राफ्ट. सो इट्स अ प्रपोजल. जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया, इट्स नॉट द फाइनल गाइडलाइन and there is a possibility that these guidelines can change in the near future. Second point we have is on tap. On tap का मतलब anytime, or I'm using a bad English word जो यहाँ fit नहीं हो रहा, every time or whenever you want. तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ सर? इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर कोई भी organization है, if that organization is planning to open up a cooperative bank, and if they feel that they fulfill the eligibility, then in that particular case, as per their will, as per their requirement, they can directly reach to RBI. ऐसा नहीं है कि सर कोई टाइम स्लॉट्स है, ऐसा नहीं है कि that RBI will be providing the license for urban cooperative bank in next 2 years only. ऐसा नहीं है. Now it will be on tap whenever you want. You can go to RBI, you can apply for it, and if you are eligible, if you are capable, if RBI finalize it, then you will get the license to run an urban cooperative bank. Second point we have is licensing. Licensing basically means it's a process. It's a process where the eligibility of the organization is reviewed, capability of the organization is reviewed, and once the organization is capable, eligible, and then finally approval is given to start the operations. Approval is given to start the operations. ठीक है जी. अब आता है सबसे important point. What is this urban cooperative bank? Before I start with the term urban cooperative bank, we should know very well what are these cooperative banks. So cooperative banks are basically the banks which are registered under Cooperative Societies Act. They are not companies. Unlike company, they don't have specific shareholders. They have the members who pool in their resources, and those pooled in resources are used, and initially they provide the facility to their members only, and over the period of time they extend the count of members so that they can provide these services. मतलब ये कि अगर मान लो एक बैंक है, that bank was set up by few members, and these members, they registered an organization under the Cooperative Societies Act, and then they pooled the funds, and these funds which are pooled will be given on loan to the members only, and the interest which will be received from the members against the loan, that interest will be utilized for the welfare of the members only. ऐसा नहीं कि सबको बराबर का शेयर मिलेगा प्रॉफिट में, और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि जो शेयर मिलेगा प्रॉफिट में दैट विल बी अकॉर्डिंग टू योर pool and funds, it will be as per your requirement. These cooperative banks, they are further classified into two categories. On one side we have rural cooperative banks, on the other side we have urban cooperative banks. Rural cooperative banks are basically the banks which are regulated by RBI, but they are supervised by NABARD. As the name suggests, they are majorly providing the banking services in the rural areas. They work on three levels. First one, we have state cooperative banks, the banks which possess their branches in the state capital, and they are responsible for providing the funds to the district or central cooperative bank which possess their branches in the district. And then we have the rural cooperative banks, the banks which have their presence in the rural areas. Even we have the primary cooperative societies. These primary cooperative societies are not registered or regulated entities under RBI, but still they are providing the banking services at the grassroots level, which include the members from the bank, which include the bank officials as its members. It includes the panchayat members, and they collectively provide the services. और आज मान लो किसी से डिपॉजिट लिया या लोन लिया, ultimately it will be transferred to the bank to which they are registered, and the flow of fund, flow of administration, flow of decision is taken from state to district, district to rural cooperative banks. On the other side, we have urban cooperative banks which are regulated and supervised by RBI. As the name suggests, they provide majority of loan for non-agriculture activities, or they provide majority of loan in the urban areas with the purpose of providing loan for non-agriculture activities. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई ये बात, समझ आ रही है मेरी बातें? I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. Please pay attention and give me yes sir in the comment section. कई बार students they come up with a statement कि sir जो concepts आप revise कराते हैं that is sometimes those concepts are not required, क्योंकि ऐसा लगता है कि शायद टाइम ज़्यादा वेस्ट हो रहा है. I agree. But अगर आप इस क्लास को या मेरी इन क्लासेस को रेगुलर बेसिस पे अटेंड करते रहेंगे, यू विल रियलाइज कि दीज क्लासेस विल हेल्प यू टू रिवाइज योर कॉन्सेप्ट्स ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात है, समझ आ गया पॉइंट? If it is clear, give me yes sir. So remember that urban cooperative banks, they have a cooperative structure. They are into the banking business. They serve urban as well as semi-urban areas. Particularly, they serve the small businesses, traders, self-employed persons, salaried individuals, as well as household. Therefore, historically, urban cooperative banks, they have been important for financial inclusion as well as local credit delivery. अब question ये आता है sir, who is the owner of these urban cooperative banks? So if I talk about the ownership, of urban cooperative banks, you need to understand this point very carefully, that urban cooperative banks, they are typically or I would say these urban cooperative banks, they are very different in terms of ownership if I compare it with the commercial banks. Because in a typical commercial bank, ownership is primarily represented through shareholders, and it is linked with the voting rights of the shareholders depending upon the banking regulations. But in the cooperative institution, it is very different, because the members are at the center of the institution. The members, they contribute capital, that means they pool in the capital, they become the part of the cooperative, and they participate in the governance. So remember that in case of urban cooperative bank, or for that matter in case of cooperative banks, members, they pool in the resources, and they become the owner of the cooperative societies. Whatever we are talking about. So members, they own the cooperative conduct the banking business of accepting the deposits and providing the banking services to its customer. Remember that urban cooperative banks, whenever we say that are subject to these banks are subject to RBI's banking regulation as well as supervision. ठीक है जी. अगला पॉइंट आता whenever we talk about the cooperative banks, so these cooperative banks, they attract a dual regulation. Why I use a word dual regulation? Because first is cooperative side, that means they are regulated under the Cooperative Societies Act, and on the other side they are regulated under the Banking Act as well, or I would say the banking law as well. तो यहाँ पे ये दो laws हैं जिसके तहत ये cooperative banks, they are operating in the country. This is something which you need to remember. So this distinction become particularly important in this news because the applicant is initially credit cooperative society, but after obtaining the banking license, it will become urban cooperative bank. So before you were applying, you were a cooperative society, but the moment you will get a license, you will become an urban cooperative bank, and you have to fulfill the banking law as well. You have to fulfill the banking law conditions as well. ठीक है जी, क्लियर होगी ये बात, समझ आ गया पॉइंट. थोड़ा सा पढ़ लेते हैं, then I'll come back to the same. So on 5th of August 2026, RBI has issued draft guidelines for on-tap licensing of urban cooperative banks. So the draft proposes permanent on-tap licensing framework under which eligible credit cooperative societies. So who all are eligible? Sir, only the credit cooperative societies. That means those cooperative societies which are already into the credit business, which are already providing the loan to the public as registered, as they have registered themselves under the Cooperative Societies Act, they can apply, they can convert into urban cooperative banks anytime instead of waiting for specific licensing window. I hope अब समझ आ रहा होगा. ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है सर? ऑब्जेक्टिव बड़ा सिंपल है. इट इज टू एनकरेज एंट्री ऑफ फाइनेंशियली स्ट्रॉन्ग वेल गवर्न्ड कोऑपरेटिव इंस्टीट्यूशंस इनटू द बैंकिंग सेक्टर. अब हम चाहते हैं कि सर जो cooperative institutes who are strong enough, they should be entered into the banking sector, which will ensure depositor protection, sound governance as well as financial stability. थोड़ी पुरानी बात करें तो in 2004 RBI decided to stop issuing the fresh urban cooperative license. अब क्वेश्चन है क्यों? Why this was done? During the 1990s, India followed a relatively liberal approach towards the urban cooperative licensing, or I would say towards the entire banking sector. So large number of urban cooperative banks, they entered into the banking sector. However, the experience was not very satisfactory because a number of newly licensed urban cooperative banks, they subsequently became financially weak. So what were the problems they have faced? So they have faced weak corporate governance, inadequate risk management, poor credit appraisal, rising NPAs, operational weakness, frauds and financial irregularities, and many more. So therefore, RBI witnessed that there is a concern with respect to the depositor protection as well as financial stability. तो RBI ने डिसाइड किया कि भाई अब 2004 से RBI किसी भी कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी को अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक का लाइसेंस नहीं देगा, या फिर RBI अब अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक की लाइसेंसिंग नहीं करेगा. सो दिस वाज अनाउंस्ड आफ्टर द फेलियर ऑफ व्हाई आई रिमेंबर द नेम. ठीक है, बता देता हूं. इन 2001 देयर वाज अ फेलियर ऑफ अ बैंक, वी कॉल इट एज माधवपुरा मर्केंटाइल cooperative bank. So Madhavpura Mercantile Cooperative Bank in 2001, which highlighted the serious vulnerabilities in the cooperative banking system. So finally 2004 के बाद RBI stopped providing the license to the urban cooperative, providing the license for the urban cooperative banks. ठीक है जी. तो अब क्या हुआ सर? अगर ऐसा था तो अब क्या हुआ सर? अब क्या हुआ? In past 22 years, since 22 years, RBI has realized कि भैया अब पिक्चर चेंज हो चुकी है. द इंडियन पिक्चर हैज चेंज. द फाइनेंशियल हेल्थ of the existing cooperative banks have improved. There has been a consolidation, that means weak institutions have been closed or they have been merged or they have been removed from the system. Therefore, the sector today is not same as the sector RBI was dealing with 2 decades ago, that means 20 years ago. Next is RBI now has strengthened its regulatory power. So regulatory framework for cooperative banks that has become much stronger. Banking regulations have become more sophisticated, and with the introduction of Banking Regulation Amendment Act 2020, it has strengthened the RBI's power over the cooperative banks. So because of these latest initiatives, now RBI felt that ki bhaiya, now I am in a strong position not only to regulate the urban cooperative banks, but also the conditions have changed. Now the companies, the urban cooperative banks which are operating in the country, they are pretty strong, and we should add on new cooperative banks so that we can achieve more of financial inclusion, we can achieve more of, I would say, financial exposure to the public. So with that particular thought, RBI has announced कि भैया, yes, in January 2026, RBI released a discussion paper on urban cooperative bank licensing. Public comments were accepted, and after considering the stakeholders' feedback, RBI proposed a draft guideline on tap licensing framework, which shows that not only RBI but the public is also much ready to accept new urban cooperative banks to be set up in the country. Now, question is, if I want to know that who can apply for opening up an urban cooperative bank, who can seek the license for urban cooperative bank, तो मेरा आंसर क्या होगा? First is, eligible credit cooperative societies can apply for banking license throughout the year instead of waiting for a periodic licensing rounds. तो on tap licensing का मतलब जब मन करे आके apply करो. Who is eligible? Sir, only the credit cooperative societies that have been in existence from at least 10 years are eligible to apply. ये बड़ा important point है. Note it down. यहाँ से question आ सकता है. The question is existing credit cooperative societies. So existing credit cooperative societies who are willing to convert themselves into the urban cooperative bank, that means they are not going to create a completely new institution from scratch. Instead, it allows the existing established credit cooperative societies just to transition from cooperative society into a banking sector with more, or I would say with strict conditions, with good rules and regulations which are going to be implemented. Minimum years of existence is 10 years. RBI want a track record. So imagine two societies which are established 2 years and 15 years ago. तो 2 साल पहले का RBI के पास कुछ है ही नहीं, तो RBI ट्रस्ट कैसे करे? तो RBI कहेगा भैया मिनिमम 10 साल का अगर ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है, then only I will allow you to convert yourself into the urban cooperative bank. Not only this, applicant must have deposit of at least 10,000 crore and a minimum net worth of 300 crores based on audited financial statement of previous financial year. So what does this statement means? If this question is asked, what will be my answer? My answer to this question is, RBI is saying that those cooperative societies, पहले मैं थोड़ा सा और बताना चाहूंगा कि सर ये क्रेडिट कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज क्या है, ये सिर्फ लोन देती हैं, डिपॉजिट कहां से आया, ये सारी चीजें समझते हैं. सो व्हेनेवर वी यूज दिस वर्ड कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी, मैं आपको बता चुका हूं, इट्स एन एसोसिएशन ऑफ पर्संस हु वॉलंटरली कम टुगेदर टू अचीव अ कॉमन इकोनॉमिक ऑब्जेक्टिव थ्रू म्यूचुअल हेल्प एंड डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्रोल, है ना. फॉर एग्जाम्पल 500 एम्प्लॉइज ऑफ अ कंपनी फॉर्म अ कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी. ईच एम्प्लॉय, let's say, contribute 10,000 rupees. So 500 into 10,000, it comes out to be 50 lakhs. And with the help of that 50 lakh capital, the company, or I would say the cooperative society, is set up and its operations are initiated. Now, basically, what is credit cooperative society? So it is a cooperative society whose principal objective is to provide financial assistance, or principal objective is to provide loan to its members. अब क्वेश्चन ये आता है, सर लोन तो दोगे लेकिन लोन आएगा कहां से? सो मेंबर्स दे कंट्रीब्यूट, as well as the members, they also deposit their funds in the cooperative framework, and those funds which are contributed by the members, the funds which are contributed through share capital, that means if you want to become a member of this cooperative society, you have to pay the membership fees. Let's say it is 10,000, so that is a contribution. Even you are a member of a cooperative society, you should open up a deposit account. So you are depositing the funds in that deposit account. So that chunk of money is basically utilized to provide the loan. It is basically utilized to provide the loan, and that should be minimum 10,000 crore. Net worth means total asset minus total liability. Total asset of the bank, total asset of the bank, क्या हो रहा है यार? 1 second. Total asset of the bank minus total liability is known as net worth, and that should be greater than 300 crores. Then only you will be allowed to become, or to be allowed, you will be allowed to apply for a urban cooperative bank. So size is, threshold is 10,000 crore deposit filter, which you need to remember. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट? यहां तक कोई डाउट? यहां तक कोई डाउट नहीं? अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. अगला पॉइंट है रजिस्ट्रेशन. Initially, only societies registered under Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act 2002. So we have uni-state or single-state cooperative societies which can operate only in one state. We have multi-state cooperative societies, which means they can operate in multiple states. So only those credit cooperative societies which are registered under Multi-State Cooperative Societies, which are registered under Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act 2002 will be allowed to convert into urban cooperative banks. It's quite obvious, so that their operations can be performed in the multiple cities or in the multiple states. तो obviously अगर RBI कन्वर्ट करेगा तो उसी को कन्वर्ट करना चाहेगा जिसकी प्रेजेंस ज्यादा होगी, जिसका बेनिफिट ज्यादा होगा. तो इसीलिए RBI ने कहा कि भाई जो कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज मल्टीपल स्टेट्स में प्रेजेंट है, या दोज कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज विच आर रजिस्टर्ड अंडर द मल्टीपल स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज एक्ट, उन्हीं को आई एम अलाउइंग टू ऑपरेट इन दी, और उन्हीं को आई एम अलाउइंग टू कन्वर्ट इनटू अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात? समझ आ गया पॉइंट? इफ इट इज क्लियर जस्ट गिव मी यस सर. If it is clear, just give me yes sir till this point. Moving on to the next point. अगला point बहुत interesting है. Please pay attention. What is the next point saying? So the next point talks about track record. What are the track record requirements? Sir, applicant must demonstrate a consistent improving financial performance over the past 5 years. Capital to risk weighted asset ratio. I hope you remember capital to risk weighted asset ratio. So whenever bank calculate what is risk weighted asset ratio, so it is the sum of risk on every bank's asset. For example, if I talk about bank is giving loan, so the risk on every loan given by the bank, if it is added, the risk on every loan given by the bank, if it is added, that sum is basically known as RWA. Bank's capital with respect to RWA, as per Basel norms, it should be greater than equals to 8%. As per RBI, it should be greater than equals to 9%. But in this case, RBI is looking forward for only those credit cooperative societies which possess the capital to risk weighted asset ratio greater than or equals to 12% from past 5 years. Second point is net NPA ratio should not exceed 3%. What is net NPA? See, we have a term that is gross NPA. Gross NPA का मतलब बैंक का टोटल लोन, उसमें से कितना परसेंट लोन NPA में कन्वर्ट हो गया. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इट इज 7%. इट मीन्स आउट ऑफ द टोटल लोन गिवन बाय द बैंक 7% is converted into NPA. But from the gross NPA, when we subtract the provisioning means the reserves which is maintained by the bank to counter these NPAs, we receive a term that is net NPA. So this net NPA should be up to 3%. If your net NPA is up to 3%, financial statement is certified by the auditor, capital to risk weighted asset ratio is at least 12%, then only you are eligible to apply for the urban cooperative bank. I hope these 2 points are clear. Track record वाला point clear हो गया, मिनिमम फाइनेंशियल रिक्वायरमेंट वाला पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया, एंड एलिजिबिलिटी वाला पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया. सो यहां से 3 क्वेश्चन बड़े आराम से बन सकते हैं. 10,000 करोड़, 300 करोड़, मल्टी स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज एक्ट, उसके साथ साथ 10 साल, और उसके बाद 12% एंड उसके बाद 3%. अगर ये सारी फिगर्स जो मैंने राउंड की हैं, इफ ऑल दीज फिगर्स आर क्लियर टू यू एंड इफ यू फील दैट यस यू आर कंफर्टेबल विद दीज पॉइंट्स, गिव मी यस सर, आई विल मूव अहेड. so that we can complete the news. I'll move ahead so that we can complete the news. Quickly, everybody. Done. ठीक है. Now let's move on to the next point. What is the next point? So the next point is RBI will assess the integrity, competence and financial soundness of the board of directors. अब RBI क्या क्या चेक करेगा? Eligibility के बाद when you will apply, the moment you will apply, RBI will first assess the integrity, the competence as well as the financial soundness of the board of directors. No shareholder can hold more than 5% of the share capital. That means all the members should have up to 5% of the shareholding. Director should not have been defaulted on loan in the past. Director must satisfy the RBI governance directions. Directors cannot perform executive functions within the society. So जो directors हैं, they cannot be the implementing authority. They can only be the policy making authority. So these points are need to be checked by RBI. अब इसके बाद RBI बैंक को कहेगा, आई वुड से क्रेडिट कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी को कहेगा कि हम आपको बैंक क्यों बनने दें, आपका बिजनेस प्लान क्या है. सो एप्लीकेंट मस्ट सबमिट अ रियलिस्टिक 5-year बिजनेस प्लान covering financial inclusion objectives, financial projections, branch expansion, product strategy, technology adoption, risk management, human resources, priority sector lending, compliance with CRR and SLR, separation of non-banking activities. कि भैया आपका जो एप्लीकेंट है वो अगले 5 साल का रोड मैप दे. असल में करोगे क्या, वो रोड मैप देना जरूरी है. बिना रोड मैप के योर एप्लीकेशन विल नॉट बी एक्सेप्टेड. RBI may impose regulatory restrictions if the bank significantly deviates from the approved business plan. और अगर फ्यूचर में जो आपने बिजनेस प्लान दिया उसको अगर फॉलो नहीं किया तो RBI आपके ऊपर रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लगा सकता है. ये RBI ने पहले बोल दिया. अब once you have given the license, the bank will be governed by all the applicable banking laws, including the Banking Regulation Act, including the RBI Act, including the FEMA Act, including the Payment and Settlement System Act, DICGC Act, Credit Information Companies Act, and the other RBI regulations. Application process क्या है? Sir, application can be submitted anytime through the RBI's portal. I hope we have discussed about this portal a number of times. That is Pravah portal. Give me the full form of Pravah portal if you can in the comment section. So RBI's Pravah portal, using the prescribed form along with no objection certificate from the Central Registrar of Cooperative Societies. So you need NOC certificate from the Central Registrar of Cooperative Society. You need an approval from the shareholders and you need supporting documents specified by RBI. जो भी documents RBI ने मांगे वो आपको देने पड़ेंगे अगर आप अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं तो. अब शेयर होल्डर का प्रपोजल अप्रूवल क्या चाहिए? कन्वर्जन इनटू अ बैंक रिक्वायर्स अप्रूवल बाय एटलीस्ट 2/3 ऑफ द शेयर होल्डर्स बोथ इन नंबर एंड वैल्यू. तो नंबर्स में भी अगर मान लो 100 मेंबर्स हैं तो भैया उसमें से 2/3, और मान लो अगर 100,000 करोड़ की कंपनी है या 1000 करोड़ की कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी है तो उसमें से 2/3 वैल्यू होल्डर्स, मतलब कि 666 करोड़ वैल्यू होल्डर्स, दे शुड अप्रूव. सो इफ द अप्रूवल इज गिवन बाय द 2/3 members in terms of value as well as number, then only the bank will be given, or then only the society will be given approval, or then only RBI will consider your application valid. Then we have, जैसी RBI के पास एप्लीकेशन आएगी, what will RBI do? Sir, RBI will first conduct preliminary eligibility screening, undertake due diligence of directors, inspect applicant society, evaluate the proposal and place recommendations before the committee of the central board for final approval. So who is going to give the final approval? So committee of the central board will give the final approval. Applicants whose applications are rejected. अब मान लो अगर RBI ने आपकी एप्लीकेशन को रिजेक्ट कर दिया, in that case you can again appeal to the central board of directors within 1 month. However, rejected applicant cannot submit another application for 3 years. तो अगर आपकी एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट हो गई तो आप अपील कर सकते हैं रिजेक्शन के अगेंस्ट कि भैया रिजेक्ट हुई है, किन ग्राउंड्स पे हुई है, ये ग्राउंड्स हैं अगर, तो मैं उसे प्रूव कर सकता हूं। अगर प्रूव कर दिया तो फाइन, अगर आपने प्रूव नहीं किया तो कैंसिल। लेकिन अगर आपकी एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट हो गई एंड यू फील दैट यू आर नॉट इन अ पोजीशन टू अपील अगेन, अपील इन द सेंस कि आप रिक्वेस्ट नहीं कर सकते कि सर जो आपने जिस ग्राउंड पे कैंसिल की है या रिजेक्ट की है मेरी एप्लीकेशन, दैट इज नॉट करेक्ट, आई हैव अ एक्सप्लेनेशन टू द सेम, तो फिर तो अपील कर सकते हैं। लेकिन अगर आपको लगे कि आपके पास ऐसा कोई प्रपोजल, कोई अपील है ही नहीं, इन दैट पर्टिकुलर केस यू कैन नॉट रीसबमिट योर एप्लीकेशन फॉर नेक्स्ट 3 years। सो प्लीज चेक द एप्लीकेशन थॉरोली। एक बार रिजेक्ट हुई तो 3 साल तक दोबारा नंबर नहीं आएगा। अब जैसे ही आपकी एप्लीकेशन एक्सेप्ट होगी, फर्स्ट यू विल गेट, as a bank you will get in principle approval. This is not the approval to operate, this is basically in principle approval, which is valid for 18 months, during which all licensing conditions must be fulfilled. अब हो सकता है कि कुछ कुछ conditions आपकी fulfilled नहीं है at the time of application। अगर कुछ कुछ कंडीशंस आपकी एप्लीकेबल नहीं है या फुलफिल नहीं है या कंप्लीट नहीं है एट द टाइम ऑफ एप्लीकेशन, आरबीआई सेज कोई बात नहीं सर, वी आर गिविंग यू द प्रिंसिपल इन प्रिंसिपल अप्रूवल, यू हैव 18 months, complete the criteria and then you can operate. तो 18 months में you are not operating, you are just given a timeline, you have given a timeline, basically you have just given a timeline कि भैया जो भी conditions हैं you should fulfill those conditions thoroughly, जो भी conditions हैं you should fulfill those conditions within the given timeline, within the given time frame। ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात, समझ आ गया पॉइंट। अगला पॉइंट क्या है, अगला पॉइंट क्या है सर, आफ्टर 18 months और बिफोर 18 months if you complete the criteria, if you complete the criteria, what all criteria you need to complete? So before receiving the banking license, applicant must establish RBI compliant IT and cyber security system, core banking system, governance committee and board of management, appointment of key manager personals, necessary amendment to bylaws including restrictions on membership, governance standards and whatnot। ये आपको बेसिक चीजें करके रखनी है उन्हीं 18 महीनों के अंदर अंदर, उन्हीं 18 महीनों के अंदर अंदर। Power to withdraw approval, so RBI may withdraw the in principle approval if adverse information emerges regarding the applicant society or its director during the approval period। अगर उन 18 महीनों में RBI को लगा कि भैया आपके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन गलत आ रही है, तो RBI उस इन प्रिंसिपल अप्रूवल को हटा सकता है, उसे क्या कर सकता है, विड्रॉ कर सकता है। Commencement of banking business, so after obtaining the final license, the entity must commence banking operations within 6 months and comply with additional conditions such as DICGC deposit insurance within the prescribed timeline। तो जो आपकी given timeline थी 18 महीने, उसमें आपने ये basic तैयारी की। After this basic preparation, you are allowed to operate, you are allowed you are allowed to operate, and once you start your operation you will be given 6 months to commence your operation, and while starting your operation you have to fulfill other conditions as well, like DICGC में deposit का insurance, depositor का insurance you have to get it insured। ठीक है जी, तो ये सारी की सारी स्टोरी है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स। आई होप एक एक कंडीशन क्लियर होगी। तो इस कंडीशन को अगर मैं जल्दी से, इस कंडीशन को अगर मैं जल्दी से आप सबके साथ रिवाइज कराने की कोशिश करूं, तो सबसे पहला पॉइंट ये है, हु ऑल कैन अप्लाई। द फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज हु ऑल कैन अप्लाई। इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द एप्लीकेशन, सर अ क्रेडिट कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी which has a track record of more than 10 years, which is operating from past more than 10 years, will be allowed to operate, will be allowed to operate, will be allowed to operate। Secondly, the deposit of the depositor with the bank should be greater than 10,000 crores, and the net worth of the bank should be greater than 300 crores। Credit Cooperative Society should be registered under Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act 2002। In the past 5 years, capital to risk weighted asset ratio should be at least 12% and net NPA should be up to 3%। Then RBI will conduct other checks in which one of the important check is no shareholder can hold more than 5% of the share capital. You have to submit the business plan. If you will not stick to the business plan, bank will cancel the license. RBI will cancel the license. Applicant should apply through Pravah portal. Then shareholder approval is required. 2/3 of the shareholder approval is required, both in number as well as value. Then you have to, then RBI will do the basic screening. RBI will give you in principle approval. If RBI rejected, you can appeal to the Central Board of Directors, but you cannot resubmit the application before 3 years. बेसिक तैयारी है जो आपको करनी पड़ेगी. पावर टू विड्रॉ दी अप्रूवल आरबीआई के पास है. इन प्रिंसिपल अप्रूवल देने के बाद भी आरबीआई उसे हटा सकता है. 6 महीने का टाइम दिया जाएगा टू कमेंस दी ऑपरेशंस. मतलब जैसे ही आपको लाइसेंस मिला, 18 महीने में आपने कंडीशंस कंप्लीट की, फिर आपको 6 महीने का टाइम दे दिया कि भैया अब अगले 6 महीने के अंदर अपना बिजनेस फटाफट शुरू कर दो. अगर नहीं शुरू किया तो भैया यू वोंट बी अलाउड टू ऑपरेट. ठीक है जी, पूरी स्टोरी समझ आ गई. किसी को कोई दिक्कत, कोई परेशानी है? अगर किसी को लग रहा है कि जग सूना सूना है, कोई डाउट है तो पूछो, अदरवाइज आई विल मूव अहेड. क्वेश्चन आया, सर कुड यू प्लीज टेक जीए मैराथन्स ऑफ एटलीस्ट 3-4 months फॉर अपकमिंग पीओ एग्जाम्स? इट वुड बी ऑफ ग्रेट हेल्प. ठीक है भाई, कर लेंगे. आपका पीओ का एग्जाम हो जाने देते हैं. प्री हो गया क्या? अच्छा हाँ, प्री तो हो गया. ठीक है, तो फिर इसी संडे से शुरू कर लेते हैं. लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम दिस संडे इटसेल्फ. तो जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर, जून, जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, तो ऑन 30th of August June, on 5th of September or 6th of September it will be July. Then 13th of September it will be August, and 20th of September it will be September, है ना. और 27th of September को एक मैराथन ले लेंगे, और 4 अगस्त को तो फिर आपका मेंस का एग्जाम है ही. ठीक है, तो ऐसा कर लेते हैं, कोई बात नहीं. मैं एक बार फाइनल कर लेता हूँ टीम के साथ. तो जैसे ही होगा वी विल रिलीज दी बैनर्स, यू विल गेट दी इंफॉर्मेशन. आपके पास एडवर्टीजमेंट आ जाएगी, बैनर्स रिलीज हो जाएंगे, एंड यू कैन इजिली ज्वाइन द क्लासेस. ठीक है जी, डन. चलो, लेट्स ट्राई टू आंसर द क्वेश्चन. Consider the following statement regarding the applications and licensing process under the draft guidelines for urban cooperative banks. Applications are to be submitted through Pravah portal, correct. Rejected applicant can submit the fresh application after 6 months. No sir, they cannot submit before 3 years. This is wrong. An applicant aggrieved by RBI's decision may appeal to the Central Board of Directors within 1 month. Within 1 month, क्या ये 1 महीने की कंडीशन थी? क्या ये 1 महीने की कंडीशन थी? यस सर, देयर वाज अ कंडीशन विद इन 1 month. दिस इज एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. तो आंसर क्या बन जाएगा सर? फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड स्टेटमेंट, दैट मींस बी ऑप्शन इज द करेक्ट आंसर. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात, समझ आ गया. आई होप मोस्ट ऑफ यू हैव गिवन द करेक्ट आंसर. मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन. अगला क्वेश्चन देखो. विद रेफरेंस टू द सेम, नो शेयर होल्डर मस्ट होल्ड मोर देन 5% ऑफ द शेयर कैपिटल, करेक्ट. RBI will assess the fit and proper status of board of directors, correct. Directors are permitted to discharge executive functions in the proposed bank simultaneously? No sir, directors will not be allowed to be involved in the executive functions. They will be only part of policy making authority. They will not be the part of executing authority. So keeping that in mind, answer is going to be C option. First and second are correct. First and second are correct. That is all from my side guys in this session. उम्मीद है कि ये पूरा सेशन आपको समझ आया होगा, क्लैरिटी हुई होगी. कोई डाउट होगा तो अगली क्लास में आप पूछ लीजिएगा. इफ यू हैवंट hit the like button yet, do like the session before leaving. Do inform the students about this session. Do join the Telegram channel to download the PDF. And IBPS, SBI, PO mains के लिए I'll be planning these sessions on Sundays. I'll cover June, July, August and September month current affairs, majorly focusing on RBI and SEBI circulars, क्योंकि clearly mention किए आपके IBPS PO के syllabus में कि RBI circular से questions पूछे जाएंगे. ठीक है, जो जनरल करंट अफेयर्स है वो तो आपने पढ़ी होगी. फाइनेंस करंट अफेयर्स में पढ़ा दूंगा, और उसमें मैं ज्यादा फोकस करूंगा ऑन दी सर्कुलर्स एज आई ऑलवेज डू. बट इसके लिए यू हैव टू कमेंट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. अगर मुझे लगेगा कि अच्छे खासे कमेंट आ रहे हैं, अगर मुझे लगेगा कि यू गाइज आर रियली ईगर फॉर these PO main session, then only I'll start it, to be very honest. अगर मुझे लगेगा कि ज़्यादा लोग आने वाले नहीं हैं, वही 10-15 लोग ही अगर इस सेशन को अटेंड करेंगे, so I think that is not worth the effort. तो उसके लिए I want your commitment, I want your comments in the comment section. अगर मुझे लगेगा कि अच्छे खासे comments हैं, then only I'll start with this particular session और plan roll out कर दूंगा मैं, एक पूरे का पूरा creative share कर दूंगा so that you guys know when and how the months will be completed. Thank you so much. Good luck. Catch you soon. Bye bye. Take care.